This is how to build a cover over a boat, allowing for projects to get done even in harsh winter conditions. Lots of folks choose to use shrink wrap, but we go with a tarp. And with some lights and a heater, this space really isn't too bad to work under. So you want to decide the height of the ridge or the height of the ceiling. I let the cut of that first ridge pole be the decider of that. Ridge poles are vertical and they support the ridge. The ridge is the length of the boat and it is installed horizontally, and it's what the roof, which is a tarp, is supported by. So step one is to just install that forward ridge pole. I didn't use a tape measure once during this job, and definitely not a level. It's all just screwing 2x4s together and measuring, marking, and cutting kind of to the length that you need as you go. So I was clever, and I anchored the forward ridge pole to the trailer here so the boat could move around the yard after she's all covered up. But you get that forward ridge pole installed, and then you put the ridge into that forward ridge pole. And that's easy because the rest of the ridge is just kind of supported by the deck, but it's putting the ridge in the second ridge pole that is the hard part, because that's when the ridge actually comes up and kind of becomes the ceiling. So the ridge has to be strapped down so it can move in any direction. So I use 4 straps, and I pull the frame forward, backward, to one side and the other side, kind of like the 4 cardinal directions. And the ratchet straps are great because even through the winter we get these brutal winds, and it's important to adjust the frame by kind of tightening those straps, especially over the first few weeks as this whole system kind of settles into place. And after that, it's pretty much it. Smooth sailing from here. We're going to install a couple more ridge poles to further support the ridge in the middle of the boat. Maybe a couple more straps in the middle as well. But here's an important part, and I've got to shout out to Captain Obi for showing me this technique. You take 1/4-inch electrical conduit, and it bends really nice and easy, and you use that to kind of give you some extra headroom, push the tarp away from the sides of the boat. Duct tape some sill seal for a chafe guard along the top of the ridge, and then you're ready to pull the tarp over the top of the boat. But now is not the time to get lazy. You've got to tie every single grommet along the tarp down. Don't skip any, and don't use stopper knots. Tie a bowline through that grommet. You can see poor Buttercup here. We got lazy with tying the tarp down, and we paid for it, but learn from our mistakes. As winter sets in and it gets colder and darker, it is such a treat to be working under this tarp with the lights and with the heater. But if you are going to be doing projects underneath a tarp like this, and you've got a heater under there, it is critical that you have a carbon monoxide detector for obvious reasons.